of Saturday morning, but
It can just be you and Klaus. That's not a problem. But welcome to the live stream. It's Saturday. Thanks for coming in, Eric and Klaus. Dave Johnson will be here shortly, and then we'll see if Sean Crystal should be here in a little bit as well. So, how's everyone's week?
everyone, I can't account for Klaus, but I'm doing okay.
I'm doing okay too. Thank you, Eric. Uh, I hope everybody out there is doing okay.
What's Yeah, me too. What's everyone working on this morning?
Um, in specific, I am working on a Gotcha Man piece, but in practice, I'm trying to get back into the swing of doing marker stuff again, which I'd realized had become, as far as skill and craft, had become pretty anemic, pretty weak.
When's the last time, Eric, that you worked on that?
In color,
Hmm.
this one specifically in color. I mean, the gray tone stuff, it's okay, right? I do that off and on. It doesn't take much to get back into how to make values work. But
Right.
when it comes to color, it's been a long, long time.
Are you using Copic?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are really good.
So here's the thing. Like, I don't know why there is such a disconnect in my brain of how to make values work versus how to make color work. And you're an educator, Klaus. You taught art for a while.
Oh, God.
Where does that come from? Where theoretically, where does, like, why am I having such a hard time? Why is it so easy for me to understand value and yet transferring it into actual hue and color? Why am I having such a hard time with that?
That's Eric. I really confess that's above my pay grade.
Is it really?
Yeah, it really is. Um, that's a very good question. I don't know the answer to that. Yeah.
I want to. I think, next time you run into Andrew, because he just seems to have mastery over everything. And obviously, when Dave gets in here, I want to be able to pick
That's
his
right.
brain about it. But I just want to, like, why every time that I've tried it, I'm like, that would work for me in value. But now that I've put, like, let's say, like the blue that I'm working now,
Yeah.
and I understand light hierarchy pretty intimately when it comes to gray. But when it comes to like actual color, I'm like, holy crap, this is all over the place. I can't make any of this stuff sit down nicely. The guy who I admire for it, again, Dave and Andrew, they wield such mastery over it.
You know, and tell me I'm wrong, Eric, but
Hmm.
don't you usually put some gray tones down first and then color on top of it, or?
No, rarely. Rarely. I used to, but it got really super muddy. Because the nature of these markers, alcoholic at its base, they would sort of want to try and mix with each other, right?
Right.
The process that I remember sitting behind Brian Stelfree's generations ago, he would use acrylic to put shadows down and to put his primary values down. And then he would use watercolors on top of it. The nature of those two, they don't mix at all, right? And acrylic being plastic, it just sits down and stays there. But marker on top of marker doesn't work very well.
Actually, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys want to know how I do it,
Yeah, tell
I
me.
can, I can tell you, but it's a secret. I don't want to share at the moment.
Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't help
Sorry.
me. That doesn't.
Jason's giving out art tips.
Yeah, it really
I
is.
came in just in time.
It really is fucking the fucking Armageddon
You
and
don't want to
pandemic.
miss this, Sean.
I am here. I'm here to learn.
All
I
right,
think,
Sean
I
is
think
obviously
you do
here,
want to miss this, Sean.
and Dave I think popped in. I think Dave's in there from LA.
I did. I
Hey,
did.
hey,
There he
Dave.
is.
I got nothing to
Dave?
draw, but or nothing prepared. So
Hey,
it's gonna be.
good to have you. It's good to see you.
I'm gonna be floundering for a while.
Hey, Dave, I had a question for Klaus that he said it was above his pay grade to answer, but I want to put it to you and see and pick your brain about it.
All right, hold on a second. Hold on. I'm switching over to my headphones. All right, shoot.
Okay, my question is, I have I would say, a pretty decent control when it comes to like rendering something in value and in gray, right? I feel comfortable in it. I seem to be able to wrap my mind around it pretty comprehensively. I have a horrible time transitioning to applying color to those same kind of like that value approach? What am I missing? What is the key that I'm not getting into?
I don't know. I mean, like when you're using transparent colors like you're doing, maybe set up your tones first using something you're comfortable with.
Yes.
Like I would, instead of going blacks, I would go like warm tones, like browns. And then once you get it to where you've got the lighting and the tones the way you want it, then you go over it with color.
Yeah, that's similar to what Klaus had suggested. Just the nature of Copics, they have a tendency to blend with each other because it's alcohol based, right?
Yeah. Well, that's why I don't think using black is a good, unless you're using like dark blues and things like that. But any kind of skin tones or whenever you use black, it just makes the skin tone look muddy.
Right? Okay.
I would use, once again, like warm tones.
Okay.
That are closer in value, and then anything you want really dark, then you maybe mix colors as opposed to going 100% black.
Try that.
But it's you got to be careful not to once again, if you got a yellow color part of your illustration, once again using black is just going to make it muddy looking.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's basically how I do it.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I cited you and Andrew having pretty decent mastery of like how to be able to handle.
Well, I wouldn't call whatever I do mastery, but more like masturbating. Hoping that I don't screw it up. But yeah, no, that's
it's tough for me. Is my point. Is like, man, like I can never make it work.
I think it's the same theory as how I learned how to paint from still freeze, where you do all your prep work before you even get to the paint. You're laying down color or you're laying down tone more than anything. And you get your shade and values down, and that's 80% of the work, and then the highlights is like the last 10%. If you do it right, you're really not even putting that much thick paint on it. So I think it's kind of very similar, but also each technique is different. Like watercolor, it just takes time to build up, values sometimes. You can't hit it right off the bat because watercolors don't work like that.
Right.
So.
That also may be part of the issues that, as you know, Dave, we've known each other for what feels like forever, right? You've known me since I was a fat wee lad.
40 pounds ago?
Portly, it's more like 70 pounds ago.
Holy moly.
But you've known me since forever, and I've never been all that patient. I think that's one of the key things, that more than a hard skill, a soft skill like patience, right?
Oh, I'm not patient either. That's why I screw up a lot. So, I'm like, I want to see it. I want to see the color the way I want to see the color right away.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And you can't necessarily do that, So, I mean, I did this the other day, and
it's so cool.
I just kept going over it, and 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 even then it's still a little, but it's still a little. I mean, the paper I was using too is super rough.
Yeah.
So that
it looks it.
That made it a little. Like this area right here is a little. I'm not feeling it, but
what's happening there that you can see?
It just looks rough to me, and I'm not. I actually added pencil to try to tighten it up, some colored pencil, but the paper was so rough it made it even worse.
Right.
So,
Dave, what'd you use on that? Was that just Dr. Martin's or what?
No, just regular watercolor. And like the black areas, I used mark, like these kind of markers. So
it's terrific.
Like I said, it's not perfect, but I don't know. You get something in your head how you want it to be, and then it comes out, and it's not bad, but it's not what you want it to be, so it becomes a failure at that point.
Well, you're not going to junk that, are you?
No, it's not. I mean, I don't think it's that bad, but
no, it's beautiful.
It's more just me beating myself up that it's not as good as I want it to be. So, man, I still don't know what to draw.
I appreciate it.
What's on your commission list? I think
All things that are going to take me a lot of effort to figure out. It's kind of like, I wish I had figured it out kind of before I got online, but I was being lazy and I didn't wake up. I've been sleeping weird, but the upside is my dreams are just insanely cool.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get up sometimes because I'm kind of watching a movie in my head, laying in bed, just
Right.
going, I wonder where this movie's going. So yeah, I don't know. So I'm unprepared. So
That's
don't
all right.
focus on me.
It's okay, man.
Here we go. I'm just gonna watch a blank screen.
There you go. I'll do hand stuff.
Quality programming.
Hey, Jay Woods here. Mark Chiarello's here. He says hello.
Hey,
Hello,
Mark.
Mark.
When's he coming on?
This weekend.
There's a request for Flounder from Little Mermaid, Dave, if you want to draw
No,
Flounder.
that's not necessary.
I don't even know what that is. Is that fish?
It's
I
the
assume?
fish. Yeah.
What's
I
up,
wish I
Sean?
could
We haven't heard from Sean. You all right?
What's up? Yeah. I'm just listening. I'm Spider, just listening.
Jonathan Wong wants to give you a commission, Dave, if you feel like doing a commission.
What is it?
That's the best. That is the best reply.
What would you like there, John? Let's see if we can get Dave to draw for you. And,
So this weekend would have been Heroes Con, which I'm a little sad that we're all missing.
Yeah, me too.
yeah,
One of my favorite shows.
yeah, that one hurt a little.
If for nothing else than to see Dave in his smoking jacket again.
I actually haven't been to that show in years.
Have you? You haven't really?
Long story.
Oh, I remember it. No need to get into it. I get it.
Has there been any convention scheduled?
Before the wall came down? No.
No, for going forward. Has anybody had the courage to schedule a convention?
Well, Emerald City has already announced when they're coming out next year, which is
March.
March, but also Brave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that's just not very smart. I realize people want things to go back together or get go back to the way they were, but you look at Florida and now they're running out of hospital beds, which is exactly what they predicted if nobody paid attention to this, and now nobody's paying attention to it, and here we are. So it just.
So Dave, you think March is too early?
Oh, you mean of next year?
Yeah, next year. Yeah.
Well, it depends on how we deal with the second wave coming. But
we're still in the middle of the first one.
Yeah, precisely. And now it's going back up. So I don't have high hopes for. I think the problem is America is a little bit too freedom obsessed. It's like, how dare you tell me what to do? I'm, I've seen these people at
Tulsa?
Well, no, at county government meetings where they get to yell at county officials and stuff,
Sure.
and they're just like they're equating it to slavery and concentration camps and.
Yeesh, that's extreme.
They can't. Yeah, no. I mean, just because they can't get a haircut or go to the bars, and you're just like, you think about what our parents had to, or their parents had to suffer through, like World War II, or shortages, and all that kind of stuff, and it just amazes me that you know, a little bit of staying at home is somehow the worst thing, you know, or wearing a mask, you know. I mean, you know, when you got our president saying he feels like when you're wearing a mask, you're
Going against them.
going against him. You know, you're making him look stupid. And I'm like, man, God, dog it. You know, it drives me nuts when I see that. So,
Well, hold on, Dave. Jonathan said any X-Men character.
no.
Open for.
But what level?
Yeah, John, did you want a bust or a full figure? Usually, full figures around 3 1/4, right? 325, something like that.
Yeah. Any X-Men character?
That's a level of freedom that you're extending Dave right now. You're gonna get like
I know. Yeah.
Oh man, not an obscure character there, Jason. We'd like a popular character, I would imagine. He said maggot.
Maggot. I've never even heard of maggot. Jeez.
We're going for maybe the gold team or the blue team. Not the what team would that be? I don't know. Brown.
the maggot team.
The brown team.
I remember it. It was during Joe Madureira's run.
Oh yeah, okay. You made it popular.
Well, he was a dude that literally had maggots on him. You know, like 2 giant.
Yeah, Dave, you might like drawing the robotic maggots. They're kind of cool looking.
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't think
We're trying to help you, Jason. We're trying to help you.
That's on Jonathan. Where's John Wong wants the X-Men character. I'm assuming he wants something more in the Deadpool, Wolverine, Cyclops.
Oh wait, so that maggot request wasn't
I don't
real.
know if I think Jason.
How about Gamecock?
Gamecock?
Don't do
Can
it.
you do one of those recently?
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Man. Wait,
That was a really fun exercise at work, though.
Yeah. I was about to say you were there when we did those.
Yeah, I remember they would go through. Was it the Marvel Universe handbook or whatever?
Yeah,
it was?
and find the worst of the
The
worst.
most obscure D tier, F tier.
Yeah, Gamecock was my favorite, man. That was fun. I mean, I think I did like 2 or 3 of them just because I was having so much fun with him.
Yeah, me too. I did it more as in everybody else's style, and I think I still have a couple of them in my folder somewhere.
Yeah, I've got mine somewhere. I think it's in a tub somewhere. But yeah, like, you know, Gamecock. What was it? Gamecock is always premature or something.
I never went.
Or he was did one where he was on the edge of a building with the sun coming up, and he was screaming "Cock!" You know,
Because we kept it classy at work.
yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
Let's see, Jason's gold balls. I never heard of gold balls.
Gold balls.
Gold balls.
Jeez.
Let's look at gold balls.
Man.
That's too much.
Well, whatever somebody picks, they gotta go through your website, don't they, Jay? I mean, we're not just doing.
Yeah. If you if John wants it, then he just has to commit to it. If not, I think Don is wanting one. Don Murray is asking for simple pencil head bust sketch.
I don't do simple pencil
Sexy busty girl.
Well, that second part Dave can accommodate for sure.
Sexy.
What's
busty
what's A4 size? I don't know what that is.
It's European for something.
Is that 8.5 by 11?
Yeah, it sounds like 9 by
10 by
12, 8.5 by
14. Yeah, it's a little in between. So I'd imagine it's 11 by 14.
Sexy girl.
Has anyone ever asked you for that before? I feel stupid saying that.
I'm not really a sexy girl artist, to be honest with you. I don't.
But you do them well.
Yeah, what do you mean? Everyone asked for Megan. From 100 Bullets.
Yeah, but I mean, compared to some of these other dudes, I feel like they're a lot better at it.
All right. Jason's perked my interest to see what golf balls looks like.
Of course.
Is that the color?
You heard precious metals and testicles, and you were like, "I'm into it."
Is that the cousin of Goldfinger?
It's a Hickman.
The one we don't talk about.
You might like gold balls, Dave.
Oh, might he?
You might. Eric is drawing a gotcha man.
Somewhere in our, unwritten client to representative contract, you're supposed to be able to protect us, right, Jay? There's an inferred level
just as a
of
friend. I don't know if it's in the contract. I think it's just it's in the social contract we have between friends.
Well, that said, trying to coerce Dave into doing gold balls for you.
It's not for me. It's for apparently for John. Let's see if John came up with something.
I like the girl thing. I'm gonna do a girl. Screw it.
All right, so John said rogue for a bust. If you want to do that, or Don Murray wants just a black and white sexy girl. So you have a choice between the two.
Yeah,
your morning is spoken for, Dave. You're good.
There you go.
All right, Don. So he's gonna do a sexy girl bust. Just if you want to text me on, I don't know if you're on Facebook. Let's see, where are you? You're on YouTube. Yeah, just hit me up on email, jason@essentialsequential.com, and we'll set you up with the order. And then we'll try to get you Jonathan on the next one. I do like gold balls, actually.
Oh boy.
Let's see. The Black Lives Matter pieces haven't been mailed out to me just yet, so hopefully Dave will mail that stuff next week. Right, Dave?
Yeah.
So hopefully next week I'll be able to ship everything out. Hey, JJ. JJ Torres is here.
Hello, JJ. Did Mark leave? I missed Mark already. I felt like he left.
Mark, I don't know. Chi is still there. I keep bugging him to try to come on, yes, but
Mark has never been the draw on the spot kind of a guy, though.
Yeah, we have to twist his arm a little more. Hey, Klaus, can you push up your drawing a little more? We can't see. Yes.
Holy cow, man! That looks great, Klaus.
Thanks.
Are you sick of Junior already? Are you done with him?
No, not at all.
That has been an ongoing relationship, what I feel like forever. Right out the womb, the two of you.
Right out the womb.
No, Mark's still here.
You can say it in what do you call it? You can say it in private. No one's listening to us.
No, I love John. Are you kidding?
No.
I love working with John. He's amazing.
Yeah, Chi's still here, by the way. So if you want to give him a hard time, have at it.
I just want to see him again. I miss the dude.
I know. That's why I should come online with us.
I wouldn't go that far, but I mean.
Mark should.
I'm just kidding, Mark. I'm giving you a hard time.
Hey, does anybody have any summer plans?
No.
Stay alive. I think it's near the top of the list, but that's not exclusive to summer.
Yeah, that's a all year round. I don't know. I guess the highlight of our summer is Sean Crystal's coming up to hang out with us, sign some books.
Really? That's a mistake. I mean, why, Sean?
He's got to wear his hazmat suit, though.
I'm gonna wrap myself in a bubble.
How are you coming up, Sean? Are you driving or what are you doing?
No, taking a plane.
Really?
Oof, that's crazy. Good luck with that. Jeez.
I respect it, Sean. Don't listen to Dave. I respect it.
It's like a metal death box.
See? Don't listen to Dave.
Be sure to wear your masks. Bring your hand sanitizer.
Dave's being a downer.
Being a realist.
I know some people, including a 80-year-old woman who went from Argentina to the Netherlands, and nothing happened.
As far as her travels are concerned, she didn't.
Right.
She
No
didn't contract
COVID.
anything.
No,
Was she wearing a mask?
Nothing.
Yeah, I think I saw a video of that woman. She was like literally wearing a mask and then covering herself in plastic the whole flight.
No. Just a mask. With her dog on her lap.
Oh well, that was the determining factor. The dog sucked up all the corona.
That was the filter. That's all the filter that she needed.
Yeah, she was breathing through the dog.
Did you have a scuba? Did you brought a scuba suit? A scuba tank?
Summer plans, Klaus. I think there's a lot to update in the house, so I think that's pretty much this is going to be the year that I get as much off of my to-do list as I can.
Your honeydew list.
Well, that is actually a good plan. I mean, because on the other side is your freedom.
Yeah. Well, it just makes me feel like I'm productive. It just makes me feel like, okay, that's one less thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we painted the laundry room, so that was fun.
You painted the laundry room.
Yep. Well, Mo did. I didn't. I just watched.
Yeah, of course.
But
That's why I wanted clarification.
yeah, I helped. It was my idea.
You supervise.
Jay's asking if it's going to be a long time before we're at cons again. When and how we decide to go back to being a big part of Artist Alley.
Individually or
I guess as a group, but it's really up to all the guys when they're comfortable going back out again and when it's safe. I don't feel it's necessary to put anybody in danger until we can be guaranteed we're not going to get.
Well,
sick.
there's certain people on the crew whose lives I wouldn't mind putting in danger.
Well,
Anybody online with us right now, Eric?
Well, why do you have to open up that particular floodgate of truth, Klaus? I don't. I say like Rod. I would totally throw Rod into the midst of danger, right in front of the danger bus. Yeah.
Is that because he's from Brazil and you don't like Brazilians?
Generally, foreigners, quote unquote foreigners. So Mateo, I'd throw totally in front of Tommy.
Mateo gets it. Tommy, because he's from North Carolina.
Yep, I'd totally throw Tommy in front of as much danger as possible. Basically, people's art whom I admire, that I want to thin the field.
Yeah, so, Eric, you're talking about your competition then, right?
Oh, that's how you label them. I label them friends, Klaus.
This is a small industry. There are no friends.
That's a daunting statement.
That's some dark shit right there.
It's dog eat dog, my friend.
Hey, I'll go. I'll go just to get away from the house. I'll risk COVID. I'll risk the oncoming zombie disease. Just for a nice change of pace.
Jesus. What kind of house do you have?
Exactly. What does that tell you?
Yeah.
Jay, or when are you guys going to be going out? When are fans going to start going to conventions, feeling comfortable?
That's a good question.
I mean, I don't know. I heard there's a vaccine. You know, a few different companies have vaccines on human trials at the moment.
Yeah, but those are a
Yeah, would you
year,
take
a
it?
year
Yeah,
at the most. You know,
Yeah, they're
or
saying
the
the
least.
earliest. Some are saying the earliest is December, January, and that's only like for Europe. But I think I've gotten acclimated to staying at home. There's a question for Klaus. Can you speak to why and when John Jr. changed his style?
Was there a style change? First of all, let's establish that.
Yeah.
There was?
I don't necessarily think he changed his style.
So, John, what do you think he changed from what to what?
Let's see if he responds. But
Hey, that wasn't a challenge, Sean. I promise. I'm trying to calibrate.
yeah, Jay Wood saying he's hoping that New York will be available for a convention, but I don't see that being,
No,
happening
no
either.
way.
That would not be wise.
Yeah, I don't think that's.
You mean New York this year?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No way. No,
yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah, New York hasn't officially postponed, but I think it's just a matter of time. It's not going to bring everybody from around the world into New York again.
We didn't mean to dogpile on you, Jay. I felt bad. He's like, I kind of wish New York would be on. Now, fuck you and your stupid New York idea.
Oh no! Well, listen, Jay Wood had said, New York is where they were hoping to go, but
Right. But it's just how her reaction was like, that's of the things that could have come out of your mouth right now. That shouldn't have been one. Like, I felt bad.
well,
Sorry, Jay.
I'm used to it. That's okay. That's okay. Let's see. Johnny is saying about John Jr. I feel like his 80s stuff was more mainstream than his current stuff.
Really?
Has a Frank Miller feel, in my opinion, but you are the experts.
Huh.
Klaus?
The only change that I've been able to see with John, in the last couple of years, is that he's just gotten better. His drawing is better, his layouts are better, his pages are more dynamic. His composition is better. He's a much more clever storyteller also.
I would love to see those layouts.
Oh, he's terrific.
Yeah, but also the inkers that work with him have an influence over the look and style a little bit, would you say?
Where's
Now
John?
Jason's talking out above his pay grade.
Listen. Wait, hold on.
Let's not
Eric suddenly disappeared from the stream. Oh wait, there he is.
What I've seen is that he takes a little bit more chances with his proportions. Klaus, would you say that it's true when it comes to drawing his human figures? He used to be, I think he had, and I think this is applicable for a ton of comic book artists. He had his way of drawing skinny guys. He had his way of big muscular superhero guys. And then he had his way of drawing women, right? But I think now he's trying more stuff out where I'm like, for him, that looks wonky because I see it in the full context of the history of his work. But what he's trying now, so sometimes I'm like, oh, wow, that leg, I don't know if he would have done that in Daredevil way, way, way back in the day, right? Or an X-Men way, way, way back in the day. But I'll see him draw like a Batman leg that makes me go like, oh, that's weird for him, right?
Would you say the word is that he's become less conservative in his approach?
Yeah, I would say, yeah. I mean, that's a great way of approaching it. I think now he's looking for more of a way to be expressive with the art as opposed to landing that perfect piece of anatomy within the context of his style, right?
I think that's good. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been following a lot of what's been going on with his work lately, but the stuff I've seen seems almost less dynamic to me in style compared to the stuff I remember when he was at his height
Hmm.
at Marvel. Like
Hmm.
it's less blocky, and
It's
I
less
don't know.
blocky.
It had his stuff at Marvel had more of a Kirby feel to me. You know, it had a lot more Kirby dynamics, and now it feels like it's a little bit more traditional, I guess.
Oh, interesting.
But I mean, once again, I'm barely connected to anything going on right now, so maybe I'm wrong.
No, I know that when he was doing Thor, especially, or any of the Kirby books, the Kirby characters. With Thor, he told me that he wallpapered his studio with Xeroxes of Kirby's work, and so I imagine that his studio at that point was like those movies where the detective is trying to figure out, where the murderer is
Sure.
or who the murderer is, with strings attached and all that stuff. But he's definitely the work at Marvel is definitely more Kirby influenced. I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember some of the tech that he would be using, and I'd be like, "Where did that block gun come from?" And my friend had to educate me. You know.
I think one of the things that I've noticed about John's work, currently, is that he never cheats at any kind of reference. His reference is always completely solid, and I think he's gotten better at that.
Hmm.
He doesn't fake it. There's nothing faked.
Unlike Eric, who fakes everything.
Oh my gosh, I didn't want to say it out loud.
We all do. Are you kidding me?
It's all I do, though. Like I'm not exclusive about where and when. I don't know how to draw that car. Well, I know it has 4 tires. Here we go.
Yeah, that's right. Fake art.
Fake art. I remember caring about that kind of stuff so much. Like, oh man, for me to be legitimate, this better look like a Porsche Carrera 911. Nowadays, I'm all like, yeah, it's Porsche-ish.
What changed?
Attitude towards life. I don't know.
Didn't give a shit.
I cranked down my give a shit dial so hard once I turned 30.
Your give a shit dial.
I cranked that shit down to 2.
Patrick, Dave is drawing a sexy female.
Everybody has a give a shit dial, right? That's not exclusive to me. I'm starting to feel self-conscious.
Oh no, it depends on the day.
Or how old?
Glad that you have days.
As you get older.
Now I just think of like the big takeaway, like obviously I want to take pride in my work. I want to be able to say, dang, that felt and that feels and looks really good. But there's a point where I'm like, you get it. The spaceship. Why do I need to design the next best spaceship ever?
Eric, you're inspirational.
Take it from me, kids. Give less shits. And you can be as popular and relevant as me. Uh-oh. I would think, now that I'm thinking about it, Klaus, I would think that that came from my storyboarding days. I used to want to have the tightest storyboards
Sure.
ever. Like I wanted to be able to look at it in animatic and be like, that's ready to go. You can broadcast that shit, right? But then there came a point where I'm just like, gosh, I'm doing so many revisions. I'm changing so many things. The directors are asking me to like amend shots or take shots out completely and find a way to dovetail it to the parts that they did keep. it started to become the economics of like, what am I ultimately trying to communicate? How much can I get? How much less or more can I get away with? And oftentimes I favored
Yeah.
less. And I just did that, and then just continued to everything else that I did. Like I just the most recent book with Millar, I did 2 pages to show as because I wanted to work exclusively in a digital pipeline. I'm sorry, Jason Schachter. I wanted to work exclusively in a digital pipeline because I just knew there was no way for me to accommodate drawing traditionally, right? Especially what was going on with my life back then. And so I was testing out how to make it look traditional while still in digital, and I did 2 pages, maybe 2.5, and I just realized, fuck, comics is hard, man. I hate drawing. The level of dedication, or like the level of detail that I wanted to put in each page, I was like, this is bonkers. This is not sustainable. And so I was like, oh, I remember storyboarding. So I'm just going to storyboard this entire I'm going to storyboard this entire script to this entire series. And that was my saving grace because it made it fun again.
How did you approach the actual finished art? Did you use the storyboards as finished art, or did you go back to doing another version, after the storyboards?
It was as close to storyboards as you can get. Like I'm not a fan of like breaking up a page in like a traditional sort of like, oh, here's a wonky page, there's a little inset panel here, or there's a, like I my brain can't think that well. I'm not as adept to like thinking about designing a page so it reads well. So instead, I cheated, and thankfully, Millar's scripts were accommodating to that quote unquote cheat,
Sure.
which is he made each page only about 5 panels long, sometimes as many as 7, but rarely. And so I would just put 5 boxes the entire way through the series. So that's as close to doing a storyboard at 16:9 aspect ratio as you can get. I rarely broke panels because I'm not very good at it. I don't know how the kids do it.
You mean breaking borders?
Yep, I don't know how to do it well.
What happens when you do it?
Oh, it doesn't lead to very good, at least for me, not for anybody else. It doesn't lead for very good storytelling. Like I find myself being confused about why I did it to begin with.
Sure.
And then like the intent and motivation behind it. It's not strong enough for me to do it because I think it's distracting to the flow of the story. Again, this is just me, right? Some people know how to do it well. I can't.
No, I hear what you're saying. I think that as I get older, I realize that the more conservative approach to story or page layout is actually the thing that works the best.
And here's what I think Sean and I talked about this a month or so back, right? Yeah. I was telling Sean how I have there is an ingrained way, I think, of people who have historically read comics. They know how to read it, right? But I also want to try to think about people who have never done it before,
right,
and what chaos it must look like from time to time, especially from a guy like me who doesn't know how to break panels well, who doesn't know how to do like traditional comic book storytelling panel beats well. So I tried to take all of that confusion out of the way for somebody from the cold and being like, oh, is this legible to me? Is this understandable? And so I try to, I try to block things out as much as clearly as possible. You know who did it really good? Have you guys seen that most recent show by Genndy Tavanovsky?
Primal.
Yeah. That first episode is so fucking good.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh my gosh. And it's drawn so well and it's animating. I go, how do they make this sustainable? And like, oh, it's like old school Marvel cartoons where they only animated certain segments. Otherwise, everything's just about good color and good composition. Music helps in a big, big way. Or they limit their animation for like certain things, close up on the eyes, that kind of a thing. It looks so good. And I was like, man, I want to draw a comic book like that.
You know what strikes me as interesting about what you're saying, Eric, is that amidst all of the detail about how to draw a page or how to lay out a page, you seem to know your strengths and weaknesses very well. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, and I think at the top of those strengths and weaknesses is my attention span. I get bored really super fucking fast. And so something has to sustain that attention span so I can take something from like page 1 to I don't know how many pages Chrononauts was, but I needed to make sure that X amount of months down the line I was still halfway invested, right? Which I was.
See, I got you beat. I get bored before I even start. I'm like, nah.
You know what? In storyboarding, that's exactly the same thing that I felt, which is like as soon as I do the roughs for the 7-minute segment that I got, once the roughs are done and once I've kind of bounced it off my director and we've had our talk and I rough in more of his notes or whatever, then it became about the cleanup process of like making sure this thing is, animatic and oversees animation legible and ready. I got so fucking bored because all the problem solving is done,
Yeah, that's why I don't pencil very tight anymore when I'm inking myself, because it feels like I'm doing things twice, and there's no joy in the exploration of what's going to come when I start to ink and start using inking materials. Because you definitely get a different effect than what you get with a pencil.
Absolutely.
But you end up screwing up a lot, but I just add more ink, for the most part.
I know how to fix this. More ink. But Dave, you're comfortable, especially in the context that you're talking about. You're comfortable enough within your own style that the mess ups are. Would you say that they're rare? They're not even.
No, they're constant, but
are they?
Yeah, but once again, it's like, is that a deal breaker?
Right.
I mean, the other thing I hate about myself is I hate using whiteout. So.
Do you really?
Yeah, I've always if I'm kind of like Mike Golden that way, but he's always just perfect. But I've developed a process where I just add more ink, as opposed to going back and fixing it.
Right.
I don't know why. I guess some of it is like as an art collector, I want the piece to look good, like instead of it being production art.
Right.
So, which is not exactly the best way to look at it. I mean, if you screw up, you screw up, and you should just, fix it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm a weirdo.
What you were saying.
I don't think so, Dave. I think that when you go into it and you start adding more ink, it leads you to another place.
Sometimes.
I think Sienkiewicz does that a lot, where he will never repair anything; he'll just add to it.
Yeah.
And keep on going. Yeah.
I can relate to what Dave was talking about right now in regards to being so tight. I remember doing my pages almost 3 times when I used to do the previous version of my production, which is draw them in thumbnail form and then draw them super tight, blow them up, trace them in pencil, then ink them. That sounds exhausting as I say it out loud. If you look at screen right now, I found an old sketchbook where I did Ladytron, and look how tight some of these panel layouts are.
I've got one of your old sketchbooks.
Oh, there you go. There's a double-page spread in here from this Superman issue that I did, and I'm like, why didn't I just turn in this page, or why didn't I just turn in this layout?
Oh my god,
beautiful.
Like I drew, and all the energy disappears, right? The only thing that it lands maybe is the perspective, maybe if I'm paying attention. But yeah, all the energy's gone.
How many of those sketchbooks do you have, Eric?
Well, Dave just admitted he has one. So
Yeah, I have 1 or 2 by me.
there you go.
I think I scanned them all to make a sketchbook, but we haven't done anything with it yet.
Oh, you need to do that, Jay. That would be awesome.
But yeah, I kind of want to go back. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Do you not like this job?
Do you not like your job?
Oh, I didn't. I don't think I liked drawing comics very much when I was actually drawing comics. Now that I don't draw comics, boy, I love drawing comics.
What is that? Just the grass is greener on the other side thing?
Yeah, it gives me perspective. Like, I love drawing comics now because it's a nice break from what I'm doing to my day-to-day.
Sure.
But when I had to do it exclusively, it was very stressful because I wasn't fast enough. And, you know, you start including not just the craft, but also the finances that's rolled into it, right?
Well, you know, drawing comics is stressful. It's not that easy. I mean, wouldn't you agree with that? I find
Oh,
it,
yeah.
you know.
I think it's easy.
This is a pay grade conversation again, Jason.
Bunch
Pay
of
grade
wusses.
conversation.
You just sit there and doodle. Eesh.
That's one
Yeah,
way
what's
to
the big deal, right, Jason?
Yeah, come on.
Bunch of wine pants.
Just sit there.
I mean, there's worse jobs for sure.
Comics is hard.
Whiners.
That's great.
This guy's got no fucking sympathy. No wonder I get emails of like, where the fuck is that art that you promised me a long time ago, man? These guys are waiting.
Yeah. Let's go. Well, in my defense, the pieces are usually done and sitting on your counter.
This is true.
But
Did you see that Electra? Have
I
you seen that in per?
it's very pretty. You've been doing some nice ones.
I want to start doing big pieces like that again.
All right.
If not exclusively.
Whatever makes you happy, my friend.
See, that's the right answer. That's the thing that makes my Saturday feels good, Jay.
Whatever you like. That's my response to whatever you like to do.
I also feel like doing big pieces allows me to fuck up more.
Oh yeah?
I don't have to be controlling the thing the entire time. That Electra piece is all over the
That
place.
is true. Yeah.
Did you ship that one?
No, I have to go to a store to do it because I'd have to pack it up. Oh, you want to see the one that I ripped up? Hold on. It's
Yeah,
still in the trash.
that's always fun to watch.
Where did I put that fucking thing?
Yes, Don, you can just send a PayPal directly to Jason at Essential Sequential, please. And hopefully Dave will have his pieces out next week for me, and I'll send tracking through the site so you'll know when to expect it.
So I started inking one, and it's in these little pieces that are on camera right now.
Oh
Here,
my!
let's see. We can make a little puzzle. That'll be fun.
Yeah. It's still going to cost the same amount of money as a regular commission, but now I've ripped it up for you. You can.
Yeah, it's interactive.
I don't even know how these go. But yeah. Somewhere in here.
It's kind of like that. I don't know if you guys remember, but back when Todd McFarlane first started Spawn, he did an interview at a studio, and he threw all the originals of a issue he was working out on the floor, and he said, "You know, the genius of Spawn is you could put these pages in any order, and they still make sense." I thought that was the funniest freaking thing I'd ever heard in my
That is so good.
Oh my god.
That is so good. Good for him, man.
Of course, you know, who's laughing now? You know, freaking multi-millionaire.
Yeah, I think he did okay.
Yeah. But man, we had a good time laughing at it in the studio.
That's, what do you call it? That Kickstarter campaign for his figure is bonkers good. Holy
Yeah.
mackerel.
I know.
Congratulations.
Crazy.
And congratulations to you, Dave. I heard that your thing closed out, no?
Yeah, we hit our goal,
Awesome.
and then some. So
Yeah, congratulations.
Congrats, buddy.
thanks. Yeah, we're already gearing up to do issue 2. So hopefully that will fund is in the same way. I know that's usually a drop in interest, but hopefully the people who ordered the first one want to keep reading it.
No, you're not the one doing the interiors. Yes, you're contributing to covers and to script and to plot, right?
Yeah, it's my idea, and we got a guy named Juan Santa Cruz who's done a lot of work with Jimmy in the past, so we knew we could rely on him, and yeah, it turned out pretty good.
Great.
I think it was in record time, wasn't it, Dave?
No, it wasn't. You mean the funding?
Yeah.
No, it was. I mean, compared to other things, I think it was fairly normal. Well, I mean, maybe, I don't know. We, because of circumstances which I can't get into, we had to at least get 30,000 right off the bat.
Sure.
And we were able to do that fairly quickly. And then it slows down, of course, and and I'm not going to name names on here, but there are certain campaigns that I've been noticing that fund by a lot,
Yeah.
But then, and anybody listening, feel free to go do this yourself, like I did. Go to their actual Indiegogo campaigns and add up all the levels, and see if there's a disparity between what they say they're making and what they're actually making, which is kind of shitty.
You suspect that they're gaming the Indiegogo?
I think they're not necessarily gaming Indiegogo. They're gaming the perception that they're doing way better than they actually are.
Oh, interesting. Huh.
Because then they can crow about how well they're doing, which I guess maybe they think people will go, oh, well, this is doing really well, I want to add to it. Or this book is going to be worth a lot because so many people, are into it. So I better buy the deluxe whatever edition so then I can sell it later, when in actuality only a small percentage of people actually want it. So
doesn't that tally show up on the Indiegogo?
No, here's what happens.
Yeah.
They add this money via either fake contributions, like usually on Indiegogo there's a donate because you just like me.
Right.
And I mean we had that on a Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how many donations I got?
How many?
2. One was from Dan for $1.
Fucking troll.
$1?
$1. And one was from my other best friend Alicia, who actually donated $20. So we got a grand total of $21. But then some of these Indiegogo things I'm seeing, if after you've added up all the tiers, you come out with $100,000 disparity. So unless these guys have people that are just donating $100,000 for their campaign out of the goodness of their heart, I think I'm going to call bullshit.
Huh.
So, and once again, when the campaign ends, you can cancel your pledge and it won't affect the grand total. So from here on out, they can say, I made this much money, but in reality, they made far less. So
they're stacking it. You're saying they're stacking the numbers.
yeah, I think I'm kind of waiting for somebody like, I don't know, like Comics Beat or somebody to catch wind of it and make a story about it, you know. But that's not my job. So, and I'm certainly not going to help Rich Johnston out. Screw that guy.
It's fascinating if there's a way to game that system.
It is fascinating.
Or at least up from the public eye perception, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it allows you, as Dave said, it allows you bragging rights to begin with, and then you can build on that.
I mean, the reason it just pissed me off because, we did it the hard way. I mean, sure, we didn't make astronomical numbers, but, we funded, and that was pretty cool,
It does, it surprises me in a general way that there's, in the midst of the pandemic, that there's money out there. Is anybody else surprised about that? Because, I mean...
No.
Huh.
Not at all.
Well, people got to spend their money on something. They can't go out, so I don't know.
Well, how do you see it, Klaus? Why does it surprise you?
People are out of work.
Yeah, people are out of work, and I think that my assumption is, or that people would hang on to their money to plan for the unforeseen. I mean, nobody knows what's going to happen in the next 6 months to a year. And
well, Klaus, we're talking about America.
Well, that's I think that plays a large part in it. Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right.
I also like my brother-in-law, for example. He's a salaried guy, makes good money. He was basically forced to stay at home and work, and was spending a lot less money than he did because he couldn't go out. So he did fine during the whole pandemic thing.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So they have, in a way, a tiny bit more disposable income.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I mean, he was telling me how much more he was starting to invest because he had all this extra money lying around.
Right.
Did you ask him for a loan?
No.
I did.
Yeah. Can I have his number?
I said, hey, Sean's brother-in-law. We've never met. But
smart.
I hear you're loaded.
I heard you come in some good money.
Hey, Sean, are these commissions that you're working on?
Yeah.
Are they the Kickstarter ones?
Yeah. I fucking fucked up Bobby's painting. I gotta redo that.
Really?
Yeah, I fucked it up pretty good.
Which
Sean,
one was it?
You are my role model.
Why am I your role model?
Which one was it, bud?
It was a video game character, but I didn't realize, I wasn't paying attention, and I did it on regular, like, 2.5 Bristol.
Yeah.
And then when I applied all my big general washes after, that board just couldn't handle it, and I tried to dry it, and it dried all crinkly and weird, and it's fucked.
Good job, man.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Learning process, right? Mark Irwin says hello to everybody.
Hey, Mark.
Hey,
There's another guy I would put in front of the danger bus.
Yeah. Sorry, Mark. You're getting it. Eric's putting you out for the purge. Tim Sale's here too. How about that?
Hey, Tim.
How's it going,
Tim,
Tim?
it's so good to see you. I'm going to call you this weekend.
It's a national treasure.
He is. I
He
agree.
says your Batman is killer.
I'm not drawing Batman right now, Tim.
Tim, it's a very it's a very rough crowd here today.
Yeah, we're trying to get Tim to come on with us, so you gotta make him
Thank
feel
you, Tim,
welcome.
but I'm not drawing Batman right now. How about that?
Boy, there is no give in this crowd.
I said thank you. I don't know what you guys want from me. I don't fucking. Jesus Christ, you guys are tough on me.
It was polite. Sean, what character is that you're doing?
It's Emma Frost. Not that you would know.
I just see a butt.
Yeah, that's kind of the point.
Perfect. Jokes aside, I miss you, Tim. Miss you, Mark.
Yep. Tim
You
says
guys
he's
don't mind
looking
if
for
I
the-
rub one out, do you?
Oh boy.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classy stream.
Just rubbing one out.
And you did ask permission, so
I did ask
I guess-
permission.
I guess we're okay.
How dare you?
Knew you should have done the gold balls.
Have you guys been following that Representative Matt Gaetz thing?
What is that?
He it's so weird, man.
It's about his son, right? About his son?
Well, it's not really his son. That's the weird thing. It's some teenager that he supposedly adopted, even though the kid's got family. I don't know. You know, it's like a single guy adopting kids. I don't know. People are like, what the hell? You know, like this is weird. But who knows?
Hey, what's the weirdness? I want to understand the weirdness of it. Is it because he's single?
Dave?
You what?
Is Matt Gaetz single?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I assumed he was married. Yeah.
But once again, the kid has a mother. You know, it's I don't know. It's just kind of like what?
Well, and he got into a shouting match with.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what started it. That's what
Right.
started the looking into what the hell he was talking about.
Right,
And-
and he claims that he is that he can relate to Black Lives Matter and
even though he doesn't,
well, that's the point. But because he has this relationship with this person who's supposed to be his son,
yeah.
right? It's
Who, by the way, is as white as me. Even though the kid's from Cuba, that doesn't necessarily make him, black. So I don't know. It's just a weird thing. Even though
very weird.
on Instagram or on Twitter, I tried to explain it by saying, well, maybe Matt Gaetz is secretly Bruce Wayne, and he just needed a yeah. Not so weird if you put it in those kind of contexts, I guess.
I was wondering what the big deal, what the big hubbub was. I had no context.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Thanks.
I mean, that guy's a piece of shit to begin with.
I agree totally.
Is he? What is he? Is he a politician?
Yeah, he's a Republican. Just he's one of those super loud voices where he should be keeping his mouth shut kind of guy.
He's completely sycophantic.
Yeah, I mean, anything Trump does is
Right.
okay with him, and
I don't think he has. I don't think he has an original thought in his head. Ever.
no.
Hey, Dave,
Mhm.
Mark was asking what kind of brush you're using.
This last one is just a big Da Vinci. I don't know, just Da Vinci. I don't know. What you can
Well,
see.
thanks for your help, Dave.
Well, I mean, it's a Da Vinci 24. It's just this huge watercolor brush.
Mark who, Chiarello or Irwin?
Irwin.
Okay, I thought I had
I
to ask.
wouldn't ink with it. Let's put it that way. But it's good for large areas. That turned out okay.
Yeah.
For didn't think I was gonna have anything good.
Hey, Don, would you like it personalized before he sends it out to me? Just comment there.
Oh, holy cow, you're done. Shit, man.
I mean, it looks weird. It looks like her head is huge because of the camera angle. See if I can fix that.
Just give her a third eye right in the middle.
There you go. That's a little.
That'll make it look smaller. Every time you make asinine like art suggestions, Jay, there should be like a jar.
Okay.
You just split it at the end of the fucking stream.
You guys just put in a nickel every time?
What's this nickel shit, dude? You're at home just like everybody. You should have more dispensable income.
Handy. Nah.
Dispensable.
Disposable.
Well, he is supposed to dispense it to us
Right.
at some point.
Sooner or later.
Hey, Jason,
Yes, sir.
let's put up that eBay link. Let's see if we can get some bids going on these inks for that
Oh, yes.
auction
You
we
know
got
what?
going on.
I totally forgot about that. Let me just
All right.
Of
for
course.
y'all.
Yep. Always represent.
I forgot about that. Let me go find it. If you do a Google search for Thunderbolt, not Google, eBay search Thunderbolt 14, we've got a few different eBay auctions going on to help with the Bail project. I'm going to put these in here now.
I've got mine on camera, Jay, if you want to. My God.
Yeah,
Who
that
was
was
that?
loud.
Sorry. Sorry.
Is that Dave?
Yeah, that was me.
Let's see, Sean. Your current bid is is it $100?
Yeah. Yeah. And this goes to the Bail Project, right, Jay?
Yep.
So this is my inks over at John Romita Jr.
And then Tommy Lee has a Hulk up there. Bid is at $112.
Oh shit, that's blue.
And there's a Batman number 81, page 1 by John Jr. and Klaus. That hasn't gotten a bid yet at $4.99. So
When'd
go
you
take a
guys
look.
do these?
Last time.
Last week, and then I put it out on my podcast the next day or 2 days later.
What's a podcast?
Commission requests is still coming in, so it's been pretty good. For those who have time to take on them. We'll be opening up Bengal's list next week. Nico Hedgeron's taking some more. Hopefully, Dave will take some more once he finishes his list. Sean, you said by the end of the month we should probably be able to.
No,
take some
I'm going
more.
to push it back a little more just because after I get these done, I got to do a few things. I'll open it up in July.
July, okay. So yeah, it's been pretty good. Someone just bid for Tommy's. Hopefully that was someone from here.
Nice.
So
Nice.
thanks so much.
That was me.
Was it you? Jonathan says that he wants that one, so he doesn't want to make it known, so he can steal it.
Which one, Tommy's?
Yeah, yours, I think. Yeah, new bid for yours, Sean. 112. So,
All right, moving up.
guys. Yeah, it ends tomorrow. No, wait, it's Monday. So we've got another 48 hours or so.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find Tommy's on here. I cannot find Tommy's, but I found this. Here's Tommy's.
I swear to God.
I still love that. I'm so glad I took that photo.
That wasn't you. That was me.
I thought it was me. I know I
was
took
me.
that photo. How
Nah.
dare you?
That was serendipitous.
I'm pretty sure I took that photo.
No. That was. I remember that till I go senile, I guess. But
I like how you're both vying for who took a photo of that lovely young woman.
that's true.
We all know it's you.
It really was. I have the hips for that outfit. Oh, fuck this color.
All right, I'm done. Officially.
Can you just write on the back, Dave, that it's Don? It is.
What's his last
I know
name?
where it goes. It is.
Can you blow up his spot on?
Don Murray. Order number 7646. So I know where it goes when I get it.
All right, done and done.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, I gotta run.
All right, man.
Dave.
Great seeing you as always.
Good
Yeah.
seeing you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, see ya. It's been emotional.
Hey.
It's been diuretic. I adore that guy.
Dave's a good dude. Sean, you got another bid?
Oh, yeah?
So
Where are we
we're
at
up to
now?
122.50.
All right.
So why was the subject matter JR last week? Was it just something you guys picked out randomly?
I've been doing a lot of podcast episodes where me, Tommy, Jim, and someone else ink someone we've wanted to ink.
Uh-huh.
And I've been wanting to ink JR. And then Jason was trying to get a stream going. And I was like, well, let's get Klaus in and we'll do JR. And he can kind of like guide us, like offer us some good advice as we're going. And we could ask questions and talk about his artwork as we went. It sounded like an interesting thing, and it all came together. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
And I think
What-
the next one we're going to do is Tim Sale, right?
Yeah, we're gonna ink his layouts.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, Tim said he was interested. I think he was
Tim
in here.
might show up.
Yeah, I hope so.
That'd
We
be
just have to pick
awesome.
out what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna send an email about that probably tomorrow. I have it on my calendar. So Jay, I got this little rubber stamp made. Like you can see it on the Spider-Man here.
Yeah.
And we'll stamp each book with one of those.
Sounds like fun.
What a ego on this guy. Oh wait, my microphone's on. Sorry. Let me turn off the microphone. Stand by. Sorry. A fucking ego on this guy. Jesus fucking Christ. I swear to God. Can you imagine me stamping my own shit? Hold on, microphone's still on. Sorry. Let me try it again.
Tim's asking, what you guys want to ink.
Well, we talked about inking some of his thumbnails. That you had a bunch of them. You said, Jay, you were showing
Yeah.
us.
So Tim, there's a few that I have
Yeah.
that we can send.
Yeah, like stuff like that would be great.
Are you guys inking on the originals? Because that's
No,
insulting.
I'll print out blue lines. I would
Except for
never.
you, Klaus. You're great.
Those are awesome.
Yeah,
Those are
every
both
one of
yours.
those would be a ball.
I mean, that's just a few that we have. So I don't know if you guys want to do the same one or just mix it up.
No, I think.
Yeah, we should mix it up.
Yeah, I think we're always letting someone pick which one they're inspired to do. I think is always good.
And Sean, you said you're gonna print out blue line.
Yeah, that's what I did for this Spider-Man right here. I printed out a blue line.
That would be a good idea. Yeah.
Do you have the capability of doing that, Klaus?
I do not. No, that's
If you want me to bring a printed blue line when I come next week,
yeah.
tell me which one and I'll print it out for you.
Okay, good. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, that would be no problem.
All right. Okay,
Tim-
guys.
Tim
Jason
says he wants to mix it up.
Can I get out of here?
Oh, you want to leave already? It's only been an hour and a half.
Yeah, I gotta get going too, Jay. I gotta go to the food store and go home and make some dinner soon.
Yeah, no, definitely. Tim says he has some other ones too that we could take a look at before you guys go.
Yeah, that'd be
I'll scan
great.
them
That would be great.
so we can get that all.
Anything that Tim has done, like at a convention for convention sketches.
Yeah, any pencils, thumbnails, Tim, send whatever you got. That sounds like fun.
Like something, I know Tim likes to draw, cat. He does an amazing Catwoman,
Yeah.
which would be terrific. There was another one that Tim did that what was it? Solomon Grundy.
Oh yeah.
It's just like really amazing stuff. Just terrific. Yeah. So Jason, you're in charge, bringing us some good Tim Sale stuff.
Yeah, we'll get a few options and you guys
We're
can pick.
basically fucked then. We're screwed 7 ways.
Exactly.
Jason.
It's my.
Okay.
So we're all Eric, you good to go?
Maybe we should.
Yeah, we're
We
gonna
should
exit.
use this sketch or this drawing for the John Romita eBay auction. What do you think?
Yeah, we can put that one up for auction with the next batch maybe because we've got your Batman
Next batch?
page
All
up.
right. Yeah, whatever you want. Okay. All right.
Or I'm just gonna keep it. We'll see.
That's a possibility too.
Deprioritize that.
I love seeing you all. It's really a pleasure.
Thanks, Klaus. It's great seeing you as well.
Yeah, it's
You're a
great seeing you,
You're a
Klaus.
gentleman.
But I'll
Thanks.
see you in person next week.
Maybe.
Yes. Ron's the question that Ron just asked is it's not a commission.
That was one you did for fun, right?
Right. That's right.
All right. So if I don't
Bye,
steal
guys.
it, it'll be for sale, is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's right. If
Okay.
if Ron wants it, he's certainly welcome to it.
All right, just to hit me up, Ron, and we'll figure it out. But yeah, hey, thanks guys for coming in and hanging out with us this Saturday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And,
All right.
All right, guys. I'll see you soon.
See you later.
Thanks, y'all. Thanks for coming.
Bye.